Hello, salutations, what it do? It's the Dr. Gamer back at you with another Marvel's Avengers video. Hope you all have been well. It is once again time for the Marvel's Avengers weekly recap, where I go over everything that happened this week in the Marvel's Avengers community, as well as do a recap of the developer stream. Unfortunately, there was no developer stream, so I have to talk about what happened in the game this week, and not a lot of great things to say. Unfortunately, despite the fact that we got the long-awaited War for Wakanda update, I'm going to be going over exactly what went wrong and what needs to be fixed going forward, as well as speculating on some things that you guys have been looking for, like the Wakanda Forever emote and the MCU Black Panther skin. But first, make sure you smash that like button. YouTube loves it very much and will share this video. And make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. We are almost at 5,000 subs already. Ridiculous. We just hit 4K subs on Wednesday. And once we hit 5K, our moderator, Tyversal, has agreed to eat crickets on stream. So that will be very entertaining. But without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Now, we all know the game has bugs, and I don't like making videos about the bugs. There are people who literally do that professionally and seem to enjoy it very much. But it has to be said, this game buggy. And it seems, especially this week with the Wakanda expansion, you know, there was a huge update. They said the biggest one since launch. And we were expecting some bugs. Personally, it went smoother than I thought it was. I was worrying that something major was going to happen, but the issue was it wasn't just one giant bug. It was just a ton of smaller bugs. On top of that, the Wakanda update itself wasn't what it needed to be, I think. It was a step in the right direction in some ways and a step backward in others. The biggest thing though, definitely are the bugs. I caught a bunch of it on stream. I'll provide you footage right now. We got a wide variety of different bugs. You had invisible Black Panther, disappearing mechs, T-posing, the inventory. They increased the inventory to 600 items, but if you pass 300 items, I noticed that the inventory starts getting a little buggy, a little stuttery, freezy, even on PS5. They got Black Panther stuck in the air. There's all sorts of weird bugs. And the most annoying one to me though, because those are usually just funny, but you still have enemies spawning under the map and you still have the Omega level threat. The Omega level threat came out last month, and PlayStation 5 users and some people on other platforms have been having issues getting through it without crashing. And it was definitely a widely reported issue. I was told it was being looked at, and I was expecting it to be fixed. We had the War for Wakanda patch. We had the surprise back end patch that they rolled out, but we have no idea what was actually in it. And still, as you're seeing right now, the Omega level threat still does not work. I have to have someone else host, and even when they do, I still sometimes crash. So I can't consistently finish the Omega level threat because I'm just going to be booted. And it's not like even if I could finish, it would be rewarding, because once again, all the exotics that come from the Omega level threat are terrible. Sorry, they're awful. Maybe they would be somewhat useful if we had a new enemy faction that specializes in cosmic damage, but that's probably not coming out until next year. So in the meantime, we have this Omega level threat, this in-game content, which you can now get rewards for 3 times a week. So generous. Can't play it unless I get someone else to host and get kind of lucky, which is unfortunate because it is fun to play with other people, but it's not worth the effort if you're not rewarded with anything. And that's something they still haven't addressed, and I'm hoping that they will do in the future. Just clean it up. I recognize that they have their limitations, but this aspect of the game has definitely got to improve. It's not a good look, and I even understand why on some level Crystal Dynamics pretends that I don't exist, despite me being one of the top creators in the entire community, because if they send people to my stream, they're probably going to see something weird like invisible Black Panther or something, or I'm going to be crashing out of the OLT, and that's not the impression that they want to make to new players. And I'm not going to lie to new players to, you know, suck up the Crystal Dynamics or Square or anything like that. I'm going to tell them the truth. Yeah, it's kind of buggy, and a lot of stuff has been here since launch. That's just who I am. I'm just going to be honest. I don't care if they're not going to invite me to the secret content creator meeting. I'm just going to tell it like it is, regardless. And it's not like I want the game to fail. I want the game to succeed. I want it to keep doing well. And in order to do that, I have to point out when they're messing up, with the hopes that eventually, if enough people notice the stuff, they'll make the changes that they need. Now, the War for Wakanda update wasn't all bad. Obviously, Black Panther is amazing. His cosmetics make him by far the drippiest character in the entire game, not even close. His combat, very fun, but as a melee-focused character, not entirely optimal, though I did come up with some cool builds. But thanks to another bug, everyone's Black Panther now is completely overpowered, almost on the level of my Thor, but you know, not there yet. Because of a bug, if you didn't see, check that out on my channel. It's everywhere by now, but if you still missed it, there is a bugged Black Panther piece that makes him pretty much OP. It skyrockets your damage. And there was also a loot exploit that lets you get ridiculous amounts of gear in a matter of seconds with Black Panther. I also have a video on that. You want to check that out. So all the bugs and exploits this week weren't bad, but War for Wakanda itself was pretty short story-wise, and unfortunately, it didn't come with anything else to do. The Omega level threat that was supposed to come with Black Panther, delayed. Horde mode, which is something that Miller told us about, didn't actually make it into the game. There is a Horde type mission, and it is a drop zone that appears for some people, not others, but it seems like they didn't have time to finish it, would be my guess. So now it's just a drop zone for some people instead of what it actually needed to be, which is a full-on multiplayer in-game activity, which would have given people a reason to stay and play the game once they finish the campaign. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and they don't have anything to do. And that's why we saw the numbers. We only have the Steam numbers, but not that impressive. Went from average of 1,500 concurrents to 3K. Obviously, there are a lot more people on PlayStation, but we don't know those numbers either. But safe to assume it didn't deliver what it needed to do in that regard. People are sticking around because Black Panther is cool, but a lot of them are leaving because there's really nothing to do. And the Black Panther event itself didn't really give people a reason to play either, because I'm hearing that people used to be, when you do these type of events, you do the big mission chain, all of your characters that are over 120 get exotics, which cool. Even if the exotics are trash, some people save scum, it's still something. You feel like you got something out of your time. But in this case, I heard that people are getting epics, just one epic for one character as a reward. Some people are getting the exotics, but only for one character, and just the one. Some people are getting the exotic drop, but it's only for one character. So the event itself isn't really worth your time. I haven't been really doing too much. I did the Thor and Black Panther mission chains, and I got absolute garbage for the rewards. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. I can farm for gear in much more efficient ways. But still, they updated the UI, which, while we don't need 2 gear pages, that's inefficient, I overall like it. I like being able to easily move through the inventory, and I like being able to lock gear, obviously, and delete and select things a lot easier. That's all great, but loadouts aren't ready yet, and you still can't reroll or modify gear in any way, making farming incredibly frustrating. So now we're a year out, and you still can't modify gear in your looter. There's still no emote wheel. The cosmetic vendor is still not ready. And on top of that, people were expecting the Wakanda Forever emote because they literally promoted it and showed it. So we know they made it, but it wasn't in the marketplace this week, as well as the MCU Black Panther skin. That was not announced. It wasn't in the marketplace, and they did not have a dev stream. They canceled the dev stream, which usually means something went wrong behind the scenes. I'm speculating here. I don't have any sources. I'd have to speak with some people that may know some things, but so I'm speculating here, but I think they were planning to drop the MCU Black Panther skin with the Wakanda Forever emote, but they fell behind schedule on the skin, and they, as a result, are holding off on releasing it until it's ready, and then they're going to have the Wakanda emote, the Wakanda Forever emote, go with it. That makes the most sense to me. They're also supposed to be revealing the new roadmap, but I was expecting that to be revealed on Friday, but they once again canceled the dev stream. So that's been pushed back, I would guess. So I would look for the roadmap reveal though in the next few weeks, as well as the MCU Black Panther skin. And hopefully that roadmap will give us a better look at what to expect for the rest of the year. Regardless, they got to really hone in on the things that will keep players playing and help the game grow, which are, I would say, the things they need to focus on more are bug fixing, adding a fully functional horde mode, no time gating, and they need to have the ability to at least reroll gear. It's been way too long. They need to get ahead of that. That would solve a ton of issues with the game and give people a reason to actually keep farming, because a lot of people I'm hearing are just literally just giving up because another update has come. They still can't mod gear. There's still a bunch of gear that's not worth pursuing. And it's just very frustrating. People don't even feel that usually like to grind, don't like to grind anymore. And you don't want to lose those players. But if they can finally get things back on track and do that, I think the game definitely could have a bright future. They did a lot of great things with Black Panther. The story was really solid. Wakanda is a beautiful environment, but you gotta just give people stuff to do. If this was just a single player game, this would be fine, but it's a multiplayer live service looter, and the Wakanda expansion didn't even come with villain sectors. And we're, as a whole, down to one villain sector a day from the two that we usually get. So they need to stop taking away things for players to do. They need to do the opposite and give people a reason to stay on the game. If they do that, the game will be just fine, but they got to start listening and putting this stuff into effect. But that's it. This was not a news week, no dev stream, no leaks, just enjoying what we got from the Wakanda expansion. Honestly, if it wasn't for the loot cave and the bug chest piece, this would be pretty dry of a week. I'm not gonna lie. But thank you once again for supporting the channel. I will be streaming Monday probably. I think I'm going to continue doing Ghost of Tsushima, the Iki Island expansion. I did that on Friday. It was a lot of fun. And thank you everyone who showed up to that. I'll be continuing the story until I finish it. And then I'll be, of course, doing my usual Marvel's Avengers stream on Tuesday and Thursday. And I'll be doing the third episode of What If. I'll be doing a live breakdown on Wednesday. Busy week for me. That's all. I'm Sadat the Gamer, signing out.